What follows is for news and entertainment purposes only. Any use of the forthcoming information in violation of any federal, state, or local law is prohibited. Mike North, you are on fire.
You know anybody else that good?
No.
No, they'll tell you they are. They may think they are, but we're documented every single week. The eye is on us.
That's
and I ain't talking about the eye of CBS, the public eye. The first feeling I got when I won a bet was elation. The worst feeling was when I lost a bet and I wanted to jump off a balcony.
Give me a quick betting tip.
Yeah, do win and don't lose, but usually it doesn't always work out that way. How many times you heard this? I'm going to Vegas. I go, how'd you do? Well, if I lost $4,000, but you go there to have fun. No, you go there to win. And that's what's wrong with people. They have the negative mentality in anything they do, including sports, before they even lay the bet down. So you got to be positive. Vegas Scores and Odds is the landing place that gave me an opportunity to handicap. They let me show what I could do, and there's packages, there's free picks. What does Vegas Scores and Odds do when you perform? They reward you, and they take care of you, and that's why we're ready to do this show.
Vegas Scores and Odds presents the Mike North Advantage, and it begins right now. That's right, the Mike North Advantage starts right now. I am Aldo Gandia, Mike's wingman, and we have another very special show for you because if it's Wednesday, it means it is Vegas Scores and Odds presents the Mike North Advantage. Mike will give you 3 free picks for tonight's action, and we're also going to talk sports, lots of sports. We're going to figure out what's going on with these Chicago baseball teams. One is surging and one is certainly not. We'll talk about the NBA, the latest odds on who is going to win the NBA Finals are out, and we'll get Mike's take on that. NFL training camps are opening soon, and we've got to talk football with Mike North. Let's welcome Mike in now. Mike North, how are you, my friend?
Elmo, my guy, it's always good to talk to you. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Monday show that is not on until August and until closer to football season. So we visit once a week on Wednesdays for the Vegas Scores and Odds Mike North Advantage here on the Bear Bar Room Network. And Eldo, before we start talking, I'll just get the spot in right now to let everybody know that already today I'm setting up pretty good. If you are a member of Vegas Scores and Odds, and by the way, I want to thank everybody. The Twitter handle is starting to increase immensely. We're up to about we've gained 50 or 60 more people in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So please, at VSAO, if you love our show, and boy, I like the show a lot, and so does Eldo. And I've done shows I didn't like. This show's all good.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in a good mood because I have the Cardinals right now in the over. They're up 6-4
Nice.
in the 8th inning. Now that could go away.
Yeah.
But I got the over, and that at least will give me an even 1-1 if indeed the Pittsburgh Pirates come back. But Goldschmidt hit a 3-run homer. Pittsburgh, for some unbeknownst reason, is sitting Josh Bell for an important game today with the day off tomorrow. So Pirate fans can't be happy. They're trying to stay in the race, and Clint Hurdle is losing his load management. And how do I pick these games and put them on Vegas Scores and Odds? Well, I also got one up on sales for 1-800-808-3419 for a free pick and info. So check it out, 1-800-808-3419 for tonight. Check out the homepage. Check out the tote board. Later on, I'll read up some of the records of some of the other fine handicappers there. Pick packages that range from daily to weekly to monthly. 1-800-808-3419. It's 1-800-808-3419 right now. And win with me at VegasScoresandOdds.com.
Mike,
how's that?
You do that like you've been rehearsing, but I know that you're a world-class pitchman, so that stuff comes off the.
Well, thank you, my friend, and you're a world-class executive producer and host. I mean, the brown nosing has begun for both of us because we missed each other, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I know it's weird because we've been doing 2 shows a week for the longest, and now we're doing 1 a week for the month of July and into August, and it seems like a month before we talked.
I screamed out Eldo the other night. Beagles, would you shut up? It was in the middle of the night. I don't know what happened, but anyway, everything's going good except for one thing. I used to tell Eldo when we first started, folks, that and this seems like a year and a half ago, I said, sooner or later I'm going to go into a slump. And Aldo goes, yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, yeah, that's what happens with these when you're a handicapper gambler. Well, you know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. It really never happened.
Right.
Until the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
After 67, 68 shows, I'm 0-6 in the last 2 weeks. The Sky lost by 1 last week. They were winning the whole game. What else is new? Another Chicago basketball team bends me over the couch. What else is new? The Sky did that, and I lost the other game, so I'm 0-6. Somewhat like the White Sox, which I always compare handicapping to baseball. But I've been the 1927 Yankees on Barroom for the past 2 weeks. But you know what? We always tell you what we do. I've had no problem telling you I'm 18-1-1 like I did last year at the beginning of football season, which put Bears Barroom on the map. And the Sun-Times carried us and did a story on us. So I got to have no problem telling you I'm 0-6. It's a tough time of year. There's not a lot going on. And today it was a challenge to pick out 3 games for tonight, which I've done, and I'm going to get back on the winning track.
Yes.
But believe me, folks, a lot of games already have played. The Cubs are playing. The Cardinals are playing. So, you know, that's why we have this game, this thing at 3 o'clock, because if we did it at 7 or 8 o'clock, we'd have no games up tonight.
That's right. We'd have to look at Thursday's games, I guess. I don't know.
Instead, all the Vegas people will now get my games. And if you want, if I'm in a slump and you think I continue, go the other way.
Right.
Go the other way at your own risk.
Yep. Well, I've got a good friend named Jim Larison who a while back, he said, man, you know, I've been taking Mike's advice on a few games, but this particular week for NFL action, I'm just going to go the opposite way. Well, he regretted that.
Yeah. Well, if you went opposite me the first 5 weeks, listen to this. Yeah. You went 118-1.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in debt for 5 years.
That's amazing.
You're going for a college loan and you're 70. You don't even go to college.
I love it. I love it. All right, we need to talk about some Chicago baseball, and we need to start with the Chicago Cubs because we got to start with the good news. Last night on Tuesday night, in the 9th inning, this happened.
High drive to left. Is it enough? Cubs win! Cubs win! Kyle Schwarber in the 10th.
Puts the biscuit in the basket.
It was a magical moment at Wrigley Field, and it's good to see this team winning baseball games again and lifting up our confidence in them because, frankly, Mike, and you've been the first to say this, you have a lot of confidence in them, but every once in a while they just kind of kick you in the groin, don't you?
Yeah, but you know what's funny, Aldo? If everybody's been listening to this show every single week, everything I said has happened.
Right.
I said that after the All-Star break, the Cubs would start pulling away. And they're pulling away. They're going to start pulling away from at least a couple teams. I think that they'll separate from Cincinnati soon and from Pittsburgh. St. Louis is always going to fight till the end. You know that. And the Brewers are winning today as we speak. I think the last I checked, they were up 2-0. So this is going to be a tough race. But now the Cubs seem like they're interested. And I said they wouldn't get interested till after the All-Star break, and it's happened. And they look like the better team. Bryant has hit his 20th home run today. I have him in the hits league. I'm happy to say I played him today. So, you know, I think things are coming around. I still, when it gets to the playoffs, do they have the lineup? Will Rizzo go into one of his slumps?
Right.
Well, Brian, that's the thing about getting past the wild card and winning the division.
Yep.
Because the wild card is just a one-game crapshoot. And you can't depend on that, as we've seen. So what we got to do is I think we're going to win the division. I think the pitching of the Cubs is superior. I think Joe Madden now feels a whole hell of a lot better than he did before the All-Star break, believe me, because people were hounding him. If you know, I've said if they lose that game, if they lose the out on the playoffs by 1 game, the Contreras game will be the game that will be the defining moment that they didn't make it to the playoffs. But I think they're in charge right now. I think they're getting their stride. Zobrist reportedly, and I know that Theo's in contact with them because he had a press conference yesterday and he keeps teasing everybody. But that would be like acquiring a guy in a trade. We don't know if he's going to come back. but it seems to me the Cubs are sort of plotting him to come back. I think he's got some personal things to take care of, but and he's not getting paid, so he's got every right to stay out. But hopefully he'll come back, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah, it almost feels like it could be a September type of decision for Zobrist. He could, join the team for the pennant rush or for the division championship rush. We shall see. And a correction: I said that the Schwarber home run was in the 9th. I've been corrected by my man Berlissimo was in the chat room.
I love Berlissimo.
He reminded me that it was a bottom of the 10th inning walk-off. This guy knows so much about sports. He lives over there in London. He knows more about sports than me and most barflies put together. Great job, George. Thanks for the correction.
I went to London for 10 days. It was very nice, Berlissimo. The food hopefully is better than when I went there. I know the TV is better now. I went back in the late 90s, so it's a whole different ballgame over there. I like the Queen. I think she's wonderful. The woman is like 90, 100 years old. And she just carries the purse and moves around. She's beautiful. So it's all good. I love the Portobello Market in London, to see, people. If you like people watching, that's where they shot Notting Hill, which is one of my favorite movies. And I went to some of those locales with BB, and we loved it.
Yeah, he says that, yes, the food is indeed great over there. Just don't eat cheap, because then you're going to have some problems.
There you go. Hey, buddy. Hey, you bring out the peppers and sausage.
There you go. In this Cubs game, it was good to see Craig Kimbrell pitch a scoreless 9th inning. He had that ERA up around 7, and that's to be expected. I mean, the guy had a whole year off. It's going to take some time for him to get his stuff going. But I'm just watching the velocity of his pitches, the movement of his pitches, and it looks like this guy could again resume his status as one of the best closers in baseball, and that is going to be huge for this team moving forward, particularly, as you mentioned, with the offensive ups and downs that this team has. They're just going to need a closer in late in the innings to protect one-run leads.
Look, he's going to be okay. There's no question. He's one of the best relievers in baseball. He's already proven that. I like the fact that Strop is going to be bumped down to the 8th. I didn't like when he gave up that 3-run homer.
Yeah.
He threw it right down the middle. If they're going to lose, here's the deal with the Cubs. Get to the 9th. With the lead, okay? But you can't be giving up 3-0 games and making it 3-3. They were very fortunate in that one game. So what I want to see is their bullpen seems to be shaping up, but I like their starting staff. We don't say enough about it. Darvish is rounding into form. It'd be nice if, and I don't know if this is ever going to happen. It seems like, he's snake bit when it comes to winning at Wrigley Field, but right now the Cubs are up 2-0. But I can't complain about the way Darvish has pitched for the past 3-4 starts. But I'd ask him this: let him finish this game. Then, if the bullpen's going to blow it and everything, let's see him stand up and pitch a complete ball game. What would jack up this franchise more? Except one thing: in the back of their mind, they know that if this guy feels any discomfort, that he will shut it down, and they can't afford that. That's why they watch his innings like it's spring training.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as you mentioned, they are leading in the bottom of the 6th as we talk. We're live here on Mixler.com. If you listen to the podcast version of this show, just remember that at 3 p.m. Central, you can tune in live and get information immediately in case you may need to make that call to make some bets. But as I was saying, Darvish has pitched 6 innings. He's given up just 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. So he is looking good, and I am with you, Mike. It would be great to see him go into the 8th or 9th inning and save that bullpen and really get a big confidence booster in his health in that arm.
That's right. Now, how far are they willing to go? Is he coming out for the 7th? I hope so. But I think he'll go 7, and then they'll put Strop in. But, man, if he's got a shutout going with 2 hits going into the 8th, let him go. Let's see if he's got it. But they're afraid a little bit, and I don't blame them because of his past.
Right. His pitch count right now is at 83 pitches, and again, that's 6 full innings. Do you pay attention to pitch?
Good.
Do you? Yeah, it is good. Do you pay attention much to that? Are you one of those guys that says, "Well, he's getting close to 100. We got to be careful," or does that not matter to you?
Doesn't matter to me, but when you're betting on the games, it does matter to me.
There
So,
you go.
I look at the pitchers. I look what's going to happen. I looked at this guy, Ponce de Leon. That's his last name for the Cardinals. I thought the old explorer was pitching for the Cardinals. but that's his name, and I knew it was going to be a high-scoring game today, that there'd be a lot of hitting. I think that what is good here, it's going to be curious to see if Darvish comes out in the 7th. I think they give him another inning. Then you go to Strop to try and shut it down, and then the reliever, Kimbrel.
All right, now let's talk about the South Side. The story is totally different there. The White Sox are mired in a really bad streak. They're 1-7 over their last 8 games. Eloy Jimenez has been injured. It looks like he's going to go on the injury list. Things just aren't going in the White Sox favor right now. What's your assessment of this team? Are you ready to kind of say, well, wait till next season, or do you still have hope that this team could potentially get back in the wild card playoff race and maybe play better than 500 ball for the season?
We got to figure out if they were really, really over their head in the first half, or if they're going to be underwhelming in the second half. Yep. I mean, which team are we looking at here? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing we got to worry about. They're not going anywhere this year, and I'm very disappointed that they let you down. I am, because you have had them at 500.
Yes.
I think that, but I will tell you this. It's not because they're not trying, but when you're not hitting, everything's going to look bad.
Right. That's right.
Everything's going to look bad. If and they're not hitting. Look, I took them the other night, I lost. Mm-hmm. And let me tell everybody this too. When I go like 0-6 the last 2 weeks on Barroom, but there's other. I bet every day of the week. So today I'm already 2-0 with 3 picks. So it's not like I'm losing every day.
Right.
It's just I don't like to lose for any specific purpose. And the other night, the system had the White Sox overwhelming, and they got beat up bad. And I'm going, wow, it just right now, and they weren't that much of an underdog. I think they were just plus 109.
Right.
So it was supposed to be an even game, and they got beat up.
Yeah, and it happened quickly.
And they were sloppy in the field.
Right.
They were horrible in the field. They seem to have lost their juice, and I understand people now. And in a couple days ago, the narrative that Steve Stone started and that Darryl Van Show and another guy is that they lost the edge with Tim Anderson. Well, then tear up his contract if it's all about him. if they're losing because they lost their edge and it's Tim Anderson, see, I don't buy that. That's the White Sox just trying to start a narrative, because I think it's Abreu's team. I think that the other guys aren't hitting. Moncada and all these guys have started to shut down, and I think that's the issue. But does missing Tim Anderson hurt? Absolutely. But there's a lot of good players. Look, this is a team that people are saying in 2 years is going to win it all, or be close to. Or are they going to win it all?
Right.
Because I know this. I've been through rebuilds, and we've been through it with the Bulls. Just because you start rebuilding in 2016 doesn't say, or 2017, excuse me, after the sale trade.
Right.
So you're on schedule in 2021 to do what? I want to know what they're on schedule to do. Because from what I'm hearing from some people, you got to wait 2.5 more years. Well, what's going to happen in 2.5 more years? Because we've been waiting for the Bulls for a decade. Mm-hmm. Just because you got there. Has anybody said the rebuild's going to work yet?
No. Well, yes
no.
And no, right, but mostly no.
Here's what I would say to my friend Steve Stone. I would say this. It takes 5 years to build a house and do all that other stuff. But you know what? There's a lot of houses that start, and they're built, and they have problems. They have issues. They have trouble selling the house once it's built. If a contractor built it, nothing's automatic in life.
Right.
Just because you say you're rebuilding, here's what I want to hear. I want to hear the rebuild's working.
Right.
Because right now, we don't know if it's working or not. We don't. Because is 1-7 sound like a rebuild's working?
Well, when you factor in, the injuries that this team has been going through, and the fact that like a pitcher like Kopech, who was hopefully going to play this season and so forth.
Yeah, but you didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't know.
Tell me what Michael Kopech was going to do, Aldo. Tell me about his past.
Well, it's all about...
That's the nonsense I'm hearing from White Sox people that get checks. From people that get checks and push the product. I don't blame them. But you got to see more. And just because fans get impatient after 2.5 years, that doesn't mean we're giving up on them. But I'm sure you're aggravating. You've been their biggest supporter.
I have been.
Right?
I have been. It really hurts to see what they're going through right now.
Yeah, according to some people, you're not supposed to be mad about that they're losing. You're supposed to be patient.
Yes, I'm with you on that. I am mad. I'm disappointed, but I'm still hopeful that once these injuries hopefully clear up, that this team.
Well, what injuries? Well, first of all, that guy Eloy should not be in left field. He's a DH.
That was my next question for you. Yeah, it seems like left field.
They should put a bell around his neck when he's out there. He almost killed the center fielder last night.
Yeah, he's a big guy too. Yes.
So we got a guy that's supposed to play left that I don't think can. This is my point about these people telling us about the rebuild. Yeah. You don't know if it's going to work. I hope it works. You and I have been hoping. I've been rooting for him, too. I bet him the other night. You think I want him to lose?
Absolutely, right. I hear
But I'm not going to have some announcer who gets a paycheck from the ball club try to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
Show me. And here, I respect Steve Stone a lot. I think he's one of the greatest analysts who's ever put the headsets on.
I'm with you.
Okay? But don't go telling me, tell me it's going to work, Steve. Tell me in 2.5 years, because Steve Stone's smart. Now he's playing this little 2.5 year to build a house thing. Yesterday it was the edge with Tim Anderson. Maybe he'll have something different tomorrow. I don't know. It's turning into a clever little game.
Very interesting.
But I got to tell you, I'm not encouraged right now. Are you?
Well, I am not encouraged. I'm disappointed. I'm sad at the turn. Coming off the All-Star break, you were hoping that they'd get off to a good start. And in fact, they're now 1-7 over their last 10. I just got news that Eloy Jimenez has been placed on a 10-day injured list. He's got a bruised right ulnar nerve.
He doesn't know how to play the outfield because they bring these guys up so fast.
Yep.
They brag about him on Twitter. When they're in the minors, they make him larger than life. And this guy almost killed the center fielder the other night.
Tilson.
That's the center fielder's ball.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie Tilson
and
was
this
playing
guy's
center field.
6'4", 240, and he ends up getting hurt. And he's only hitting 249. I mean, we didn't lose Mickey Mantle yet, folks. I like the kid, but this is not good. And by the way, the Atlanta Braves were a rebuilding team, and it didn't take them 5 years. Okay? And there's other teams that are rebuilding, like the Minnesota Twins. So this 5-year nonsense is all to just calm the White Sox fans down, at least the ones that just go along with the program.
Yeah, it's sad. So hopefully...
but they could turn around and win 10 in a row.
Yep.
But my job, is not to speculate about 2.5 years from now. My deal is to tell you what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing a lack of good fielding, a lack of cohesiveness, and the starting pitching is not conducive to winning anything. It isn't. You got what, 1.5 good pitchers starting right now?
Right. That's my biggest concern right now, Mike. It's hard to lay a penny on this team because I'm worried about Lucas Giolito, who's obviously had a great first half of the season. But, this is the second time around that teams are going to be facing him. So they got scouting reports on him. It's going to be difficult for him to replicate that first half of the season. And he's the only good pitcher on this team. There's no evidence that anybody else is ready to pitch anywhere near the quality that he pitched in the first half. So if Lucas Giolito is going to plateau a bit or not play as well as he did in the first half, then we could be in for a long second half of the season.
Look, I'm rooting hard for the kid. I think he's going to be okay. I think he ends up hopefully 17, 18 wins. I think he's going to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. The other guys are the problem.
Yep.
The Covey, the Ceases, the Novas, the Lopezes. My God, that's just I just see hits being given up. I want to see these guys, one of them get better, but I don't think there's a whole lot of talent. And the White Sox, if they're ready, if their offense is ready to go, and if all things being equal, they start turning, they're going to have to go out and get 2 or 3 pitchers.
Yep. They really, really need to look
I mean,
at that.
Where would they be if they still had Sale and Quintana? Would they be this bad? They'd fill in the blanks, and they'd have at least 2 pitchers they could count on. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm hoping Moncada's holding his own at third. I'll give him credit there. Anderson's out. Garcia's okay, but he's just okay. He's a utility player. Abreu's in a slump right now.
Right.
McCann's been a little quiet, but he's okay. But, I mean, this team right now, if you're telling me this is their team 2 years from now, Minnesota, Cleveland, and the rest of the league, division would be happy.
I'll tell you this, Mike. One of the things that I'm worried about is the fact that the White Sox management, and we know they've done this before, they're going to look at the standings and they're going to start selling. This trade deadline is coming up at the end of the month. Jose Abreu, everybody's talking about losing him. I really want to keep this guy because I think he could be a steadying influence for the young guys. You know, he speaks the Spanish language. He's got a good rapport with them. They call him a papi. They call him dad. And, you know, to lose him, I think it is not keeping the long-term prospects of these young players in mind. You know, so I'm just concerned as to what they might do in terms of disrupting the chemistry of the team. Now, I know what you're going to say. What chemistry?
No, I'm going to say I would agree with you on Abreu.
Awesome.
And I don't care if Tim Anderson's got edge. Here's what I want to educate all the White Sox people on. This is Abreu's team. And if they let him go, I think there'll be some longing for him from a lot of the players. I think he's a favorite of the White Sox. I think they went and got him. They took the chance on him. I don't think they want to let him go. So I think they're going to keep him. Abreu says he wants to stay. I think now we got to look and see what's going to happen to Renteria.
Yes.
What happens if this continues? What happens if they keep playing sloppy? What happens if they can't turn it around?
Yep.
Renteria, you've heard me say it, one of the top 3 jobs in all Major League Baseball in the first half. Now, it looks like his team is dysfunctional, and his team can't pick up the baseball. All of a sudden, they can't hit the baseball, and they can't pitch the baseball. So this is the dog days of summer. They're going to be playing teams that are pennant contenders that are going to look at them as fodder. I didn't like them getting manhandled. Today they're playing again. I didn't like them being manhandled by Kansas City so far.
Oh, my God.
I don't like that at all.
Yep.
Kansas City we just heard a month ago, was a year behind them.
Right.
What, did they catch up with them now?
Yeah, well, it looks that way right now. I'll tell you that.
But you know what? Hopefully next week we come back and they put together a 2-3 game winning streak. Seriously. Because I want them to win, but I'm not falling for the bull crap. Okay? I'm not falling for the bull crap. From owners, from announcers, from managers, from players, from writers. I've been there, done that. That's not going to happen. Let everybody else fall for it. They've been falling for it for 3 years. So what's a couple more? But I'm not falling for it. You got to show me now.
It's the show me Mike North. You've always been that way, and I totally respect that.
Well, look what the Bears did. Weren't the Bears supposed to be 3 years away?
Yeah, exactly.
4 years away?
Right.
So according to people that I'm listening to and reading about, guess what? The house got built by the Bears quicker than people thought.
Much quicker.
They got better contractors.
Yeah.
They got better workers. and they got a better built house.
Yes,
Give me a break.
Very strong foundation. All right.
Right.
A quick update on that Cubs game. They did lift Darvish, and they brought in Kyle Ryan, who faced, 4 hitters, gave up a hit, but still held the Reds to 0 runs. We're in the bottom of the 7th, and hopefully the Cubs can hold on to that 2-run lead and win this ball game. All right, we are at the halfway point of the show. We're going to talk some NBA, we're going to talk some NFL, and we're going to talk about the British Open, too. But first, it is time for...
Yeah! Right now the music isn't as peppy as it's been in the past. But let me tell you something, folks. I'm 9 above 500 still. So remember, I was 15 above 500 when this happened. So that's why you build a base.
Right.
Okay, I'm 9 above 500. But you know what? It's lean. And I'll tell you this, even the folks at Vegas Scores and Odds, and check them out, get ready for football season. That's what we got to do, because that's what we're all waiting for. Mm-hmm. We're biding time here. We're biding time. We're trying to win, and we have been winning.
That's right.
I don't care if it's been the NBA, NCAA football, NCAA basketball, if it's been the NFL. Aldo knows we've been winning, and we're still winning. We got 9 wins. We're 9 wins above 500, and you can go and follow at VSAO and give them a call, 1-800-808-3419. And I'll tell you something, folks. You got some great handicappers there. And if you go to my profile at North to North, you'll see ESPN 1000. The odds couple Friday from 6 to 7, Saturday from 8 to 9. Also Bears Barroom. Mondays at 7 p, which will start at the end of August or around that time. And Wednesdays at 3 p.m. with Vegas Scores and Odds, the Mike North Advantage. So if you hit Vegas Scores and Odds in the blue there, it goes right to the front page, and I can read you some of the fantastic people that are doing such a great job at Vegas Scores and Odds, because I haven't been hot as some of these other guys have been. And Joe Spada's a new guy, 3-1. He's coming to hunt me down. Yeah. Joe Spada. Hollywood 8-4. Johnny Anthony 18-16. Now I am. After winning yesterday and winning today, I'm going to win 2 more today, 1488 and 1296. So I've won for $1,000 bettors since 2011, $49,140, and $100 bettors, $4,914. So this is all good stuff. Check it out. And right now, college football is getting ready soon. I'm 160, 137 all time. So check it out, and check out my Twitter handle and Bears Barroom Twitter handle for Vegas Scores and Odds. Now, Aldo, I'm going to make this simple tonight. I'm not going to make this hard. You know, I'm prepared for anything. I remember reading about this guy Walters, this gambler. He lost for a month.
Wow.
Without winning. And he's worth $100 million. He's one of the great handicappers of all time. And he's admitted it. So it happens in sports. I just don't like it happening to me.
Exactly.
I don't want to be brought onto the carpet by Aldo. What the hell's going on? Aldo with the big cigar. Oh, by the way, I don't need to see your legs on Twitter, okay? I don't know if anybody... I almost threw up in my mouth, okay? Because you know what I really started imagining? If my legs are wider.
No way are your legs wider.
I am telling you. People would throw up if they see us laying outside on the lounge chairs with the legs showing. Are you kidding me? So I know you need a tan, but it's a little late. Oh
yeah,
okay.
I think you're
and
right.
by the way, I never thought until you told me you were Puerto Rican. Just like nobody's ever told me, are you full Italian? Nobody's ever told me that. They think I'm Irish. So these are burdens we got to carry,
That's
Aldo.
right. Every single day of our lives.
All right, here's another burden I got to carry. It's called Let's Win One. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the guy that has one eye open, looking up at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, wondering what happened in the game that I fell asleep on. I like the Dodgers tonight, Minor. I like the Dodgers tonight. We're so nonsensical. Minus 163. They're 63-34. Maeda is a decent pitcher, but they're playing the Phillies off a Big Harper walk-off, and Pavetta is pitching their 49-46. 185, it's gone down to 163. Thank God. Okay? 163 is it. So minus 163 of the Dodgers. Then, another big favorite tonight, the Houston Astros, who have been struggling a little bit.
Yep.
A very good team. What happened to the Houston Astros have been struggling a little bit, but, they're going to be okay. But they've had some injuries. And Garrett Cole, who wasn't good in his last outing, is going to be pitching, and they're minus 185 against the Angels tonight. And Pena. So I'm going to take the Dodgers minus 163, Houston minus 185. But Elva goes, but Mike, please give us one more. Please. And I'm going, all right, here we go. The Minnesota Lynx, my team.
Oh, yes.
The W. They won for me, not like the Sky. Yeah, I'm bitter. The Lynx under 146 tonight. Under the 146. So Houston minus 185 in baseball. Dodgers minus 163. And the Lynx under 146. Aldo, back to you.
Good stuff, Mike. And by the way, I think the Sky had an afternoon game, and I think they won with a late game bucket. I've got to double check that, but I think I saw that on Twitter.
I thought they won.
They
77 to 76 is what I do. I sit around and look at women's basketball score at 10 in the morning today. Listen, the WNBA plays 10 o'clock in the morning games.
Why?
Okay? Because nobody really watches them, to be honest with you.
Well,
they play 8, and they got. It's weird, but you know what? That's what they're doing. The NBA, if it wasn't for the NBA, there'd be no WNBA, folks.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
people need to discover the game because there are some really well-played games in the WNBA, but and perhaps that's a good strategy is don't put them up against other live sporting events, more popular Major League Baseball games. Put them up early in the morning. Female viewership is really high in the morning. Maybe they can tear them away from The View and some of these other shows that women...
There's no way they can tear them away from The View. Don't ever go there. I don't want Whoopi after us and whoop some ass. But I'll tell you this: if they're on TV and I got money on them, I'm going to watch them. That's the one thing the WNBA has, but it has the betting lines, which is good. But here's what I'm going to tell everybody, and this is the truth: the equal pay thing will never happen in the NBA with the WNBA. That's all I'll say. We can move on to that topic some other time, but not in the NBA and the WNBA. The equal pay thing will never happen, folks.
No.
Just telling you the truth.
Everything has to be tied to revenue. Percentages of what is made. That's the way it should be, and any businessman will tell you that, and I'm sure that it's a hard argument to beat, if you tie it to revenue.
No, it is. I mean, what do you got 10 people watching a game at 10 in the morning, and so, at a Las Vegas, at the Connecticut casino, and they're playing a basketball game, and then you go and watch the NBA playoffs. There's just no way you can do it.
It's not.
And by the way, they subsidize the WNBA anyway, so, they're taking care of them.
Yeah.
And without the NBA, without men's basketball, there'd be no WNBA.
That is true.
But I really loved the old days with the Chicago. So I liked girls basketball. I coached women's basketball. I mean, really, they're fundamentally sound, but the product in the NBA is just so good and has come so far along. We're even in the off season now.
Right.
It's dominating the sport.
It really, really is. And that's our next topic. It's excellent segue. We didn't even have a script.
That's what I do, baby.
All right. I wanted to focus in on the two Los Angeles basketball teams, the Clippers and the Lakers, because one of the sports books has them as these two teams as the odds-on favorite to win the 2019-20 NBA championship. The Clippers at plus 350, the Lakers at plus 500. I thought we could take a look at each individual team. The Clippers, of course, added Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. That was the biggest, perhaps the biggest offseason news is landing those two players. What are your thoughts about the Clippers, and is it a good bet to put $100 down to win $350?
I think the Clippers is a better bet than the Lakers.
Okay.
I like Anthony Davis, but do you know what I did the other day? Mm-hmm. When Lou Alcindor went to Milwaukee, they became pretty good. When Larry Bird went to Boston, they became pretty good. They won 33 more games the next year. when Magic Johnson went to the Lakers, they became pretty good. And when Michael Jordan came to the Bulls, eventually they became pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I know. When Anthony Davis was on New Orleans, they sucked. So I'm trying to figure out why people think that this guy is going to lead the Lakers. I know he's got LeBron, but LeBron's coming off a bad injury, and he's going to slow down. And if he plays point, there'll be days that he gets beat up because he's not as quick as he was. Now, he'll be able to bully point guards, but I don't. I look up New Orleans and see where they finished with him playing. Right?
Yep. I'll
if
look
you're the best player in basketball, you're not. You're supposed to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I hear today that with him going to the Lakers, he may now be the best player in basketball. I won't buy that. I like Anthony Davis, but I'll tell you this. You know when the Lakers lost? When they didn't get Kawhi.
Right. I agree with that.
Him going to the Clippers, to me, changed what was going to happen to the Lakers. Because I had the Lakers, if Kawhi went there, they were 1-8. I mean, you got LeBron, you got Davis, and you got Kawhi. Right?
Exactly.
But you know what? He told himself, I'm as big as LeBron now. And I won at Toronto. And I won, by the way, with not a whole lot.
That's right.
So now I like the Clippers a whole lot. And, I just think that they're the better team in L.A. right now, even though L.A.'s got the name players. Kawhi, he's still not – he's the third most popular guy probably in L.A. right now after LeBron. Well, LeBron's really not popular. I got a buddy out there.
Right.
A lot of L.A. doesn't like him.
I've heard that.
They're Kobe people.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? They won't tell you that on the basketball channel or the shows. He's not. My buddy Schwartz, he lives out there. Jeff Schwartz. He's in the coffee shops and stuff. They're not big fans of his. So that's a Kobe town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still. And I think Anthony Davis, if he starts out pretty good, and by the way, he's 25-12 guy. I'm not saying that Anthony Davis is a loser.
Right.
All I'm saying is I never saw New Orleans get appreciatively better when he played. I didn't.
33 and 49 last season, and here's one thing that I always look at.
And did you ever hear anybody say he makes other people better?
No, never. and the team was 14. Excuse me. Where is it? I just lost. 19 and 22 at home. So they didn't even have a winning record at home, and so
he didn't play it. He shut it down a lot last year. Remember?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he knew that
so
contract
I mean,
was coming.
you know what? It remains to be seen about him. It really does.
Well,
I mean, is he going to be like Shaq and Jabbar and those guys? Maybe, but he's got to win if he wants to be them.
Well, the one thing about the Lakers that I find intriguing is that they also picked up DeMarcus Cousins. So I wanted to get your opinion on that because you've been outspoken about his play. And do you think that Cousins could potentially turn his career around and play at the level that he did when he became DeMarcus Cousins, a hot commodity? He didn't quite play to the billing last year with the Golden State Warriors, but do you think that him now with Davis and with LeBron, you think that he could really help this team play well?
No.
Tell me
no.
why.
I think he's a cancer. And I heard what a person somebody was an assistant coach from Golden State.
Right.
Somebody from the announcer from Golden State said he thinks DeMarcus Cousins is the worst guy he's ever seen in the NBA.
Really?
The way he treats people and everything else.
Oh.
He's not a really good guy from what I understand. Oh. Now, maybe we could look that up because I saw it on Twitter, and he said he saw the guy just treat regular people like garbage. And basically Golden State couldn't wait for him to leave.
Wow.
And how did everything work out there for him? And now he's getting the minimum. You know why he's getting the minimum? Because he's not a good guy and he's damaged goods. And, I'm sorry that he got hurt. But you know what? I'm not going to cry. I don't have enough room in my head to worry about DeMarcus Cousins. He's been a pain in the ass at every place he's been.
Well, you're absolutely right. It was the Kings broadcaster, Grant Napier.
Read that for everybody a little bit, Aldo.
You bet. First paragraph, and this is from KNBRradio.com, and it says, when Kevin Durant went down injured in the second quarter of Game 5 of the Finals, the home crowd of the Toronto Raptors cheered. Raptors players like Serge Ibaka and Kyle Lowry eventually quieted the crowd. Some of them cheered for Durant as he entered the tunnel, but the damage was done as he limped off. Where was this going? After the game, DeMarcus Cousins, who suffered a torn left Achilles last year, called the Toronto fans trash. F them, Cousins says. Trash, so trash. But like I said, no one idolizes superstar athletes. Well, where's the quote from this guy? Here it comes. If there's any player in the NBA that should not be talking about fan behavior and how they treat athletes as opposed to people, it's DeMarcus Cousins, said the Kings broadcaster. He is the rudest, crudest, most vile player that I have ever been around in my 31 years in the NBA. Wow.
So he's a piece of crap.
Exactly. That's putting it nicely.
So you know what? And Gold State couldn't wait to get rid of his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans didn't know that Durant blew his Achilles out. They thought he just went down and had a sprained ankle or something,
right.
And Cousins goes off. Believe me when I tell you this. You won't hear it on the NBA shows and all this. He's a piece of you-know-what.
Yeah.
Period.
Certainly it looks that way.
And good luck to the Lakers with them.
Well, and that's the thing is, okay, so you got LeBron.
I'm going to feel sorry for a guy like that. Oh, he's got to play for the minimum. Tough. You know what?
Right.
$10 million worth of talent with a 10-cent brain.
Interesting. So you got a
I
guy.
want to get a real job, pal.
Yeah. So you got a guy, LeBron, who's probably going to play 50 games, right? This load management thing, he'll play 50 games.
Right.
You got Davis, who has never, I shouldn't say never, but has not been on a winning team in a while. And then you've got DeMarcus Cousins.
And he was the leader.
Yeah, that is a dark cloud look over the Los Angeles
I'm just saying,
Lakers.
nobody talks about that.
Yep.
They act like this guy won 10 champs. They act like this guy's Bill Russell.
That is interesting. Now, back to the Clippers. One of the things that has me concerned about this team is just after you get past Leonard and Paul George, which is a fantastic duo. These guys will play well together. They will play hard. And they will make players around them a little bit better, although Kawhi Leonard was recently criticized by some anonymous NBA general managers as saying that he does not elevate the play of those around him. But
They won the championship.
yes, I know. That was so weird, right?
Wait a minute. You elevated everybody. You won the championship. Kyle Lowry played great. I thought Kyle Lowry was a loser. See, that had to be Pex. I had to be somebody who hasn't been in the playoffs for a while that's jealous.
Yeah, somebody who probably
come
lost
on,
the
man.
sweepstakes.
What were the Toronto Raptors before he got there?
Let me tell
They
you.
were perennial second-round outs, right?
Exactly.
Maybe first round?
Exactly, first
Guess
round.
what they are? They're NBA champs, and I got to listen to some anonymous, gutless general manager say he didn't elevate everybody's play? Tell me that when they pick up their rings at the beginning of the season.
I love it.
Right?
I love it. You make so much
My
sense.
God, those guys there Toronto was considered a bunch of losers. He
Right.
goes there, and everybody got elevated and won a championship. So that general manager I won't even listen to.
Yeah, the general manager says that, he doesn't galvanize the team around us. So I have to look up the word galvanize means inspire and fire them up and so forth. Who cares if he's not a rah-rah guy? The guy gets it done on the court. That's unbelievable.
It sounds like the same nonsense about Tim Anderson. He's got an edge. We need the edge. Wait a minute. We had an edge. His name was Ozzie Guillen, and you got rid of him for Robin Ventura. So make up your mind. You want an edge or not?
Good point.
It's a bunch of nonsense, man. Kawhi Leonard's quiet. Hey, walk softly and carry a big stick. That's what he did.
That's exactly what he did. Exactly what he did. All right, let's turn our attention to the NFL. The Green Bay Packers, one book has them at 16-1 odds to win the Super Bowl, while they have the Chicago Bears at 14-1 odds. Do you think that's a fair setting of the odds, given that the Packers now have not made the playoffs in the last 2 years, that they have a brand new head football coach, that there's been turmoil, at least reported turmoil, between the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the new head coach? Do you think it's fair to put them at 16-1 and the Bears at 14-1? Or, what's the inside scoop here, Mike?
I like the Bears at 14-1 right now. That means they could go up or go down. That's fine. 14-1. Remember, they're still a young football team, okay? And they went a long way fast with a coach that did phenomenal things. So, but I've said the over/under is 9.5. So 14-1 is good where they're at. I think Green Bay should be 20-25-1. I mean, they don't have, I don't believe, what they had. They still have the quarterback, but the quarterback's starting to get a little long in the tooth, and he's had some injury problems. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't put my money on Green Bay. But the Bears, 14-1, that's hopeful. Vegas likes them.
That is hopeful.
I think Carolina's going to have a bounce back year. I think McCaffrey's sensational.
Yes,
I think Cam Newton had the shoulder surgery. Mm-hmm. He's going to be better. He says he played scared last year because of being hurt. He went out there, but he played scared. I think they bounce back this year. I think Chico Rivera bounces back. And every year there's 6-7 new teams in the playoffs. So, hopefully the Bears will still be one of those teams that made it from the year before. But I don't think Green Bay's viable. I don't.
Yeah, and you say, more like 20-25-1. So I'm looking at the list of teams that are at 25-1. It's the Seahawks and Vikings at 25-1. And both of those teams, I think, are much better than the Packers.
I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Aaron Rodgers.
I know, you said that last year.
Put a good football field. So what I'm saying is, I think Green Bay's with those two teams. Mm-hmm. I don't think Green Bay's that much better than Seattle, but Green Bay's popular. Right. See, Green Bay's a fan favorite. It is. I mean, the beautiful uniforms, the little town. Aaron Rodgers, overrated by the media. They kiss his rear end. They kiss his ring. But that brings bets. That brings bets.
Yep, that's how it works.
So, and then you look at the division. But I think that Minnesota could come back this year. I mean, really, this is a division we don't know who's going to win.
Right.
I want the Bears to win. They're favored to win. Right. But the favorite doesn't always win unless it's New England.
Exactly. Yeah, it's there's a lot still to kind of, what's the word? Things have to eventually we need to see the rosters. We need to see some of the play in the preseason. So a lot left to be determined.
We still need a kicker. I had a little discussion on Twitter with everybody. I'm trying to educate people. Just wait till we lose a game by 3 on a missed field goal.
Oh my
with
goodness.
Parkey in Florida getting a suntan.
What do you think of the possibility of bringing in this 44-year-old Matt Bryant, who the Falcons have not re-signed for this upcoming season? He had a sensational year last year, although he did miss 3 games due to injury, but he hit over 90% of his field goals, only missing 1. He was excellent from long yardage. He's a grizzled veteran. Do you think that the Bears should bring him in? I know you've talked about Cody Parkey, but what about Matt Bryant, who would come in? Why not? Yeah, right.
Why not? I mean, so far, the kickers they brought in wouldn't have won the Goose Island. I think, to be honest with you, Parkey was, from what I understand, the best kicker that wasn't there. So I think what you got to do is bring them into camp. Mm-hmm. Does it hurt? And I hear people say, well, he lost the locker room. You want to lose the locker room? Don't have a field goal kicker. That can't kick. And I'm not saying Parkey would make the team. Mm. He made a mistake. He made a mistake, man, by going on TV. And John Yurkovich, good guy, Yurko, said it. He's not on the team because he went on TV.
Ah, interesting.
If he hadn't done the TV, it's his contention, and I agree, he'd be back.
Interesting.
He'd be back maybe, challenged for the job.
Oh, I
because
bet.
There's kickers in the league that have bad years that are brought back the next year.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me.
You think if he hadn't done the TV, he'd be back this year in least in competition?
Well, and now that you bring it up, yeah, I do think that he would be back.
I do too.
Yeah. At first I thought, man, maybe not, but hell, they've got a lot of money, or they had a lot of money laid out for this guy. They still got to pay him the $4.5 million. Why not bring him back and have the competition with the two guys they got now, Pinheiro and Elliot Fry, or whatever the heck his name is. I always forget this guy.
But wait, you know what? And I keep hearing people deserve a second chance, yet I see people that never get a second chance.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, they didn't give Robbie Gould a second chance, and he went somewhere else and became successful.
Right.
So they'll give Parkey the opportunity. I'm not saying make him the kicker, but if he goes to camp and out kicks everybody, look, Cleveland brought back Josh Gordon every year, and every year he let him down by going on drugs.
Right.
So who's the worst guy? Cody Parkey for going on TV and playing the martyr? Or Josh Gordon, who they couldn't depend on for 5 years.
Interesting.
And they kept bringing him back.
Yep. That's very true.
If Parkey was on drugs, instead of going on TV, he'd rehab and they'd bring him back and everybody would feel bad for the guy and hope he straightens out. I'm telling you the truth.
That's hilarious.
Right? But he went on TV and he said, God has a plan for me, and that's the end of that.
That's hilarious. All right, I want to spend our last few minutes talking about one of the great golf tournaments of the year. It's the British Open. It's being played right around the area where they filmed Game of Thrones. Just a beautiful area of the world in Ireland. And I want to play a clip of Tiger Woods, because we always watch the majors and we wonder how Tiger Woods is going to go, how he's going to play. Well, he's not real happy with his game right now. He says there's some parts of it that need some work. He's really happy with the short game, but this is what he said when asked about what he's concerned about.
I still need to get the ball, shaping the golf ball a little bit better than I am right now, especially with the weather coming in and the winds are going to be changing. Going to have to be able to cut the ball, draw the ball, hit at different heights, and move it all around.
Mike, as a golfer, you know how important it is to shape your shots, particularly at golf courses that the British Open has. So where do you have Tiger Woods in your picks, and who do you like in this tournament?
That's great. I love golf.
Me too.
I mean, if I could get any job where on television right now would be to work on the Golf Channel.
Ooh.
I mean, because those guys need an education. They do. Everything's yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay, okay? Oh, poor Tiger was told by Brooks Koepka, I don't want you to practice with me. Did you read that? Tiger was hurt. You know how many times, 10 years ago what Tiger would have told Brooks Koepka if he wanted to golf with him?
Yes.
Take a hike, kid.
I have that clip if you want to hear it, by the way.
Play that clip. This is great. I'm going to start weeping.
Okay, here it goes.
Go on.
Texted Brooksy, congratulations on another great finish. He's what he's done in the last 4 major championships and has been just unbelievable. He'd be so consistent, so solid, so he's been in contention to win each and every major championship. And I said, hey, dude, you mind if I tag along and play a practice round? I've heard nothing.
And he's not going to hear anything. You know why? Because that's why I love Brooks Koepka. I'm not practicing with you. I want to kick your ass.
Exactly.
He's old school.
Exactly.
He's old school. You know who play Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler and Bubba Watson? They get bunk beds and stay in the same house and then crap the bed. Brooks Koepka, do you think Brooks Koepka hangs out at the frat house?
Uh-huh.
He wants to beat all these guys. So when I heard that, I said, but here's the thing, Tiger, and it happens to all of us. They're going to see you on the way up, and then they're going to see you on the way down. Mm-hmm. And there's no way. I loved him. He told the living legend, I don't need to practice with you.
Well, and that's the way Tiger would have been, 15 years ago. So, he shouldn't feel bad about that.
You think if I mean, seriously. Now Tiger plays with people because Tiger's not the people's choice anymore. Or he's still the people's choice. He's just not the best golfer in the world.
He definitely is not.
But I got some good ones here. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I can't wait to hear this.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 golfers. Lucky 13.
Okay.
I took everybody from 16 to 1 to 30 to 1. Because if you try to take the 8 to 1 guy, 9 to 1, okay, fine. You may win. But sometimes I've won 2 of the Triple Crown races with the system doing this, with the long shots.
Right.
Golf, it's been tougher. I got John Rahm at 16 to 1, Woods at 18 to 1, Rose at 20 to 1, Molinari at 20 to 1, Xander Schauffele at 20 to 1, Fowler at 25 to 1, Cantlay at 25 to 1, Fleetwood at 25 to 1, Thomas at 25 to 1, Scott at 30 to 1, Oosthuizen at 30 to 1, Stenson at 30 to 1, and Kuchar at 30 to 1. Now, you say, Mike, that's a lot of golfers. Yeah, that's 13. If I hit the 16 to 1 shot, I still make money.
Right.
If I hit 18 to 1 shot, I still make money. Now, are any of these guys going to win? They have as good a chance as anybody else. I turned on the live from the British Open on the Golf Channel earlier.
Uh-huh.
It's raining sideways.
Ooh.
So, you know what? It's going to be pretty tough conditions. I think the course sets up for Tiger because there's no trees. There's no, you know what I mean? If he can keep it halfway on the fairways, he'll be all right.
Right.
When he gets in trouble is when he hits into the trees and stuff like that. Well, there ain't no trees. Mm-hmm. But there's bunkers that are 10 feet high. Listen, I would take a 30 on the one bunker that looks like a 6-story building, you know?
Yes.
You want to talk about people that are mean.
Yes.
They build golf courses like that. That's terrible.
It's an intimidating golf course. There's no doubt about it.
And then it's raining sideways.
I know. It's crazy.
And it's big for Northern Ireland. And by the way, I don't think Rory McIlroy's going to win.
He is.
They think he's going to win every time, but I think he's got the most pressure on him than anybody. He's at home.
Right. He's at 8 to 1, and you're absolutely right. He's back at home. And then Brooks Koepka, according to GolfWorld.com, is at 10 to 1. Those are the 2 favorites going into the tournament. Now, the one name that you threw out there that I really like, I have him here at 20 to 1. I think you said the same thing, is Francisco Molinari, last year's champion at the British Open. I would not at all be surprised if this guy wins the back-to-back British Opens. He just has the makeup to go to that particular golf course and win. But we'll see. It's going to be fun.
I like Justin Rose, 20 to 1. He did good at the last one, the U.S. Open, until the last day. John Rahm at 16 to 1. There's a reason he's 16 to 1. He's a European player. He plays the links golf a lot. This course is set up for him. He's a long hitter. He can overdrive a lot of the trouble spots, the weeds and let's face it, the British Open, I don't know if they even own a lawnmower in these golf courses. You know what I'm saying? It looks like par 3 over by O'Hare. You know? The problem with, remember par 3 at O'Hare?
Yes.
Back in the day?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They about a year before they closed, they stopped taking care of it. I played there. I was almost attacked by an iguana. My God.
That's hilarious.
It's still for sale over there, Aldo. We should buy it, open it up again, and lose our ass.
That's right. I would drive by there every day and rarely see a golfer out there. It must have
that's because it's closed now. It says for sale.
Yeah, well, even before
they
that.
Closed it down. They closed it down the year before. They just forgot to tell the golfers.
Hey, I like the pick of John Rahm. He's coming off an incredible performance at the Irish Open, so he's a hot golfer. And I didn't know this about him. He's a Spaniard. John Rahm is a Spaniard.
That's why I picked him out for you. And he's pale like you.
He really is.
He's pale like you, my friend.
And then Justin Rose at 20 to 1. He had a disappointing final round at Pebble Beach, but He's always seems to be in the thick of things. He's another good bet. I really
I
like
the guys I got. I think you don't bet one golfer, you bet a bunch of them. Make it interesting. Every hole, you got one of your guys out there. You got a chance to make some money. I mean, if you put $2 in each one of these guys, that means you would spend 13 golfers, $2 on each. That's $26. You hit a 30-to-1 shot. That's $60.
Not bad. Did you?
Right.
Did
you
you
make up the money? By the way, the Cincinnati Reds are starting to come back now, and the Chicago Cubs.
Oh no.
The score is now 4, I believe, to 3. As I look up at the top of my hour, maybe that it's 4-2. It's only 4-2.
Yeah.
So sorry, Cub fans. Didn't mean to panic. Get bottom of the 8th, and. I think the Cubs are looking good. And by the way, there's somebody wearing a Happy Cub shirt in the background. They should put the Happy Cub back on the remember the Happy Cub on the shoulder patch for the '69 Cubs?
Yes. I remember
Bring
that.
back the Happy Cub.
All right. Before I let you go, there was controversy on social media regarding what happened yesterday when Kyle Schwarber, yesterday being Tuesday for those of you listening on the podcast, Kyle Schwarber hit the game-winning home run in the 10th inning. The ball lands in the basket at Wrigley Field. And these two kids, probably around 10 years old, they're about to reach to get the ball, and some guy, a guy in his 30s or 40s, he's got a Cubs shirt where the name on the back is My Tai. He reaches in and snatches the ball away from those kids, and he starts hooting, hollering, and so forth. And then social media goes in an uproar about this guy not having any class and so forth. So I wanted to get your take. Is this... again, the social media crowd just going bonkers when they shouldn't have, and this guy is entitled to go after the ball no matter who it might land close to, or do you think this guy was classless and should have let those kids get the game-winning home run?
Well, first of all, if he wants to go for the ball and take it, he shouldn't take the beating on. But that's just the way life is now. Mm-hmm. Okay,
right?
Taking the beating. Second of all, give it to the kids.
Yeah,
Come
afterwards,
on,
right? Don't you think?
You're a grown-ass man, but your name is Mai Tai, so how much grown are you? Okay? I mean, seriously. What's your name? Mai Tai. No, it's not. That's what I would tell him. What is your name? Mai Tai. No. My God is your name if you don't change and tell me what your real name is. Okay? I mean, so that's all I'm saying. So I always hate when people snatch a ball from a kid. Yeah. I always do.
Yeah, that was. And now I don't mind, if you're running after a ball and so forth, but that ball was like in the kid's grasp. He was just about ready to have it in his hand, and then this guy snatches it away, and then he's celebrating like he did some great athletic feat or something. So that was kind of weird.
You know what I love? When they get a ball from the ball girl down the line, and they act like they caught it. They jump up and down. What are you jumping up and down from? They gave you the ball,
Hey, have you ever caught a foul ball at a game, Mike?
No, but I've met many.
Well, it's going to be...
You know what? I never caught one. This is the truth. I was at Yankee Stadium with Jesse Rogers, John Suntress. We had first-row boxes. Uh-huh. We were... doing our show from the Waldorf Astoria. This is the truth. Paxson and some of the Bulls were on the other side, on the first base side. Jim Tomei, it was Cleveland. Jim Tomei fouled one off.
Wow.
And it bounced over the dugout into my hand, and it fell out.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. So, and who picked it up? Do you know who picked it up?
Not me. No, went back on the field because we were in the first. We reached for it and it fell. I got good hands. I'm not gonna, but I blew this one. Yeah. I had it.
So
I had it.
All those years of 16
but nobody booed me or anything. I'm a likable guy. You know me. By the way, it was cool to go to Yankee Stadium, the old one, before they got rid of it.
Oh man, I wish I would have gone. I was.
You never went?
No, I was born in New York City. I left when I was 8 years old and never got back there to see a Yankee game at the old Yankee Stadium.
It was pretty cool to go there, and we got to go in the locker room, and I saw A-Rod and all the Yankees. I'll never forget Mike Mussina was pitching. Going to pitch that day. We went in beforehand. And Jen Patterson was with us, too. There was 4 of us. And I said hi to him. he just looked at me, man. He was in his, like, already, like an hour before, 2 hours before game time in his pitching. Like, he didn't say, he just said, he gave a nod, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
And now the guy's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, how about it? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more.
Mike Mussina was great.
Oh, yeah, he was. I mean, the stories I've heard about him, he sounds like a great guy.
Very good guy, and I liked him when he was with the Orioles. Mm-hmm. And I always thought Mike Mussina was lost a little bit of his identity. He was Baltimore, but when he went to the Yankees, he did fine.
Somebody posted a really good question. I'll kind of reconstruct it for you here. Name me a baseball player or even a basketball player, or football player, an athlete from a rival team that you would have loved to have seen play for a Chicago team.
Well, it happened. Rodman.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
It really did happen because I hated Rodman's guts. I didn't say I wanted him to play for us, but when he came over, we became buddies, and he was unbelievable. He was a great basketball player. But if I needed somebody right now, if we could take any player off a baseball team and put him on, I'd take Yelich.
Okay.
I'd take Yelich. Now, I know a lot of people would take Trout, but see, Trout's got no competition in the American League.
Right.
He leads in a lot of categories because Mookie Betts and the Martinez and those other guys, they're not really putting up any type of battle. In the other league, you have Arenado, you have Bellinger, you have Bryant. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You got great players on every team, man. You got Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
So what they're doing out there, I love what Christian Yelich is doing, and he had a grand slam last night. Now, for basketball, if we could take any player, wow. That's a good – I like Steph Curry.
I know.
I know that's not a popular pick, but I like Steph Curry, but who would you take? Maybe the new guy from New Orleans.
Oh, Zion, right? Zion Williamson.
Zion.
Yeah.
I love Zion. Watch them do better with him than they did with Anthony Davis.
You know what? I would not be at all surprised.
Me neither.
Yep.
I hope he does great. They said he's a little out of shape. He's not, Anthony Davis is a string bean compared to him. But that's what I'm worried about. Is he going to eat him? Is he going to be out of shape, or is he going to come back ready to play? I think he'll be ready to go.
Right. He's got some fat on him, and it's going to be hard to play an 82-game season.
20-year-old guy, man.
I know. He's got to just get into that nutritionist and all that good stuff, that sports science, and he'll be fine. The guy's an incredible athlete. All right, Mike, it is time for us to tell people that on the Bears Barroom Radio Network, we've got a show that I want you all to listen to. It's called Blitzed Bears, and on that show, you'll hear a promotion for this very show that we're on, Vegas Scores and Odds, presenting Mike North Advantage. Plus, those guys that produce that show, they do such an incredible job. They're so funny, and it's not only just Bears news, it's NFL news. So take a listen to that show. You might really fall in love with it like everybody else that's listened to it. It's called Blitzed Bears. It's on the Bears Ballroom Radio Network, and this very show, Vegas Scores and Odds, presents the Mike North Advantage, will be on your podcast stream in about 25 minutes or so, and you can find it there. These shows not only give you these betting tips, but they have a long shelf life because Mike North just brings it with great brazen sports opinion, just fabulous stuff.
I loved it. You're the guy that made that day, gave me that word. I love it.
I love it too. Mike, I want you to have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy the British Open. I've got a little thing to do up north. My daughter is getting married, so I'll be out there in the heat thinking about the British Open, and you enjoy. And when you get out to that,
don't wear shorts. Are you going to wear shorts with the tuxedo coat?
I have to. I'm not even sure.
All right, and by the way, let me tell everybody once again, for Vegas Scores and Odds, the great sponsor of NTR, 1-800-808-3419 for free picks, and check out the packages and follow them at VSAO. The dial up 1-800-808-3419, 1-800-808-3419. See you, Aldo.
Take care.